33% of the viewers said that their floor using this type of kit failed within the first year. So that's not what we're looking for. This kit, kind of a DIY amount of materials, is going to be compared to that amount of materials behind me, which is your professional grade materials. And that's why our results should be superior. Start off with the number one most critical step, and that is the prep. And I actually did a test so I could compare, hey, if I hand grind this, how long is it going to take compared to renting a dual dose? I did 25 square feet with a 7-inch angle grinder, timed that out. It took me 30 minutes to complete that. And then I did a similar 25 square feet and used the dual disc rental from Sunbelt. That only took me 7 minutes. So I would say the rental is going to be at least 4 times faster, if not more. But just prepare yourself. This is going to take a little while to do. And you need to grind that surface, whether you have epoxy like I had on this floor, or it was fresh concrete. We still need to get that scratch down. If you have fresh concrete, the nice thing is it's going to go much, much faster. There is a product from Concrete Floor Solutions, which is the company that's going to provide the epoxy kit that we're doing as well. And they have a really cool repair product that is also a 2-part epoxy, and it sets up extremely fast. It actually will set up in 15 minutes, where you can get it on a crack or get it in that spalt, and then it will dry, and then you can go back through and grind that flat and you're ready to go. So it's extremely convenient, and it's nice to have that kit ready to go, because pretty much all of us are going to have some type of cracks or chips or spalls in the floor that we're going to need to address before we start putting on our primer. You want to get everything as smooth as possible, or that's going to show right through even after you flake your floor. Those cracks will work themselves back out if you do not address them correctly and kind of grind those cracks out, putting in some fine sand and then putting in that 2-part epoxy so you can grind it flat. And the epoxy is going to be stronger than the original concrete. Do not take the shortcuts here. Our grinding is complete. We have those cracks filled, and we have any spalls or any imperfections in the floor taken care of. So you're sitting in a good spot now. Now we want to go on to the first of 3 coatings that we'll do. But before then, make sure you go through and thoroughly vacuum your floor, and do not wet down the surface. I did was just take a leaf blower, kind of blow out any of the dust, or maybe leaves came in while you were cleaning up. Just get that all off the floor. Now, starting off with the primer, we're going to do 2 parts of the part B here in the first bucket, and that's got the actual tint to it. Let that drain out. It's going to take a little bit longer to drain. Don't necessarily have to make a mess like I did right there, but that's also why I have the rosin paper down. And then the part A, it's only going to be 1 gallon. So it's a 2-to-1 mixture. You're going to pour that in. And then for 2 minutes, we're going to want to mix. And if you got the accessory kit, you'll have this mixer with you, or you can grab one at Home Depot. Spend most of your time down at the bottom of the bucket, making sure you're working everything low, and then kind of work your way up at a setting speed of 1. Do not go too fast. You just want to get a good mix. Once you have that, you'll take the product in and you'll start to pour 3 to 6 inch ribbons, or if you're newbie like me, it's going to be super inconsistent like that, and you're going to have to do a little bit more work with your squeegee. So you have your notched squeegee. That's how you're going to distribute the product out, and that's going to leave behind just the right amount. And then you use that 6-inch roller. That's how I'm doing my edges. And then your 18-inch roller is how you're going to get everything smooth. Now, I use that 18-inch roller quite a bit, even to spread out the product. When if you were a true pro and had some experience, you'd be using that squeegee, spreading out and distributing your product, and then going back through with your roller and just making sure everything is laid out consistently. Or if you're a 2-person operation, maybe you split it up. One person's doing the squeegee and the other person is doing the roller. Now, I have an expansion joint there. The floor was poured independent of the foundation, so there's an expansion joint between the two. I'm just going to go up to the expansion joint. If you're going up the wall a little bit, make sure you leave more of a ribbon of product so you'll have that to work up the wall. And then again, I'll spread out a little bit with the squeegee, and then I'll start using that 18-inch roller, kind of pushing the product towards the garage door here, and make sure I have enough. Now, I just had enough for this 500 square foot. So the 500 square foot kit actually did match up to my garage. And here's what mine looked like at the end. So we'll let it set up and start to dry. Now moving on to intermediate coat, the mixing's the same, 2 minutes, and that's 2 parts of A, 1 part of B. Lay it out in ribbons like this. Hopefully yours are a little bit more consistent than mine will. Then you'll use that same notched squeegee, and the notches will allow you to have the correct and uniform distribution of material on your floor as you work it across. I was a little light in that corner, so I went and grabbed some extra, which was in the bucket. So I did this in half and half. This is at nighttime. I'm working off that. I know I have about 45 minutes to work this material before it starts to get a little stickier and harder to work with. So I want to finish up this floor in about 35 minutes, and then I'll start to flake. It will work towards the front edge. Remember, it's nighttime out, so I have a fair amount of bugs out that I'd like to reduce them getting on the floor. But I need to work this front edge because this is where the tires will hit. So I need to make sure there's prime, intermediate coat, and clear coat in addition to the flakes on this front edge, so it's durable versus the tires from the vehicles coming in. And then I'll go on to flaking. Now I'm doing a very heavy or full flake. Now I'm trying to get on the side of the step there. That's why I'm throwing the flakes like this. But usually you'll just throw the flakes up into the air. If you're doing a full flake like this, it's going to be easy because you're getting flakes everywhere at a uniform distribution. If you're doing a light or medium flake, it's a little bit harder because if you drop one clump of flakes on the floor, it looks inconsistent, especially if you're doing a light flake. So I'm just going back and forth, and you'll just want to make sure you're stepping flat-footed with those spiked shoes. Don't be sliding on the floor, especially if you're walking back over the flakes, which you can do if you need to go back and spread a little bit more flake, but you do not want to slide on that floor or you're going to have an issue. I'll just go back in a few of the different places, making sure we have the full flake and get that outside edge as well. Set up for about 16 hours. It's the next day, and we're on to really our last step. First off, I'm just going to put a pinch of this aluminum oxide to give us the non-skid feature of the floor. Just a little pinch every about 4 square foot area, just going across the floor. And once it hits the ground, that pinch will just kind of bounce and disperse throughout. And really the distribution of that non-skid granules will come when we do the 18-inch and the 6-inch roller. Once you're rolling that out, then that will spread it throughout your entire floor. So we have that non-skid and reduce of chances of any slipping. I'm already seeing a massive difference between this level of product and what you're going to get compared to those DIY kits. There's really no comparison. I think you're going to agree when you see the final product. Now you're only going to use a fraction of this container of aluminum oxide to even cover this whole 500 square foot. It really doesn't take much. And then I'll take 1 gallon of the top coat, and I'm going to work 1 gallon at a time, so I only pour out the amount of material that I need. No mixing, so it's super easy. Then I'll take a squeegee, and this is not the notched squeegee. This is just a flat squeegee because it's spreading it in the cracks around the flakes. Right now you have somewhat of a texture with the flake, especially if you went with a heavier full flake. I'll kind of do my edges with that 6-inch roller, and also make sure I have it all over the stair. Any of those edges, you want to make sure you have a good coat of clear coat on. Maybe you'll be pulling dollies or something up into that. You'll be stepping on it every single day. So we'll get a little bit of work, and we'll do the same thing to kind of that front lip at the front of the garage. So then I let the floor dry for 24 hours. After 12 hours, I did crack the garage door, at least open a little bit, and ran a fan to try to get some of the fumes out. At least with the clear coat that I'm using, it puts off a lot of fumes during the drying process. So it's good to kind of air out through the garage so it doesn't really come into your house. So try to avoid the mistake I made. I hung up my roller, which I thought wouldn't drip at all. There's no drips coming off it. Well, during the clear coat drying process, tons of the clear coat dripped off. So I found that the next morning. Luckily enough, it wasn't fully set up, and I was actually able to use a chisel and kind of work up all the extra clear coat that had dripped down underneath the roller. So get the rollers off, throw them away, do not hang them on the floor. So other than cleaning up that mess, I just used my shop vac to clean up the extra flakes, and also did just a little bit of grinding to get a nice clean edge between the epoxy coating coming over that front lip and the concrete going out into the driveway. So overall, I am very happy with this product, and it is substantially better than the DIY kit. I don't really even think you can compare them. That is one, from the superior materials, but also from that prep process. Comparing the degreaser and acid etching compared to a full grind, again, really no comparison. The full grind is gonna win every single time. Let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think? Is it worth the extra money to go with this professional grade product, or are you gonna stick with the Rust-Oleum products?